everyone. So I've been meaning to do a video like this or educational videos in general when it comes to natural hair care. So if you follow me on Facebook, you may have seen this diagram that I posted a couple of weeks ago. Basically says why your hair is a hot, dry mess, okay? Before I get into a number of reasons why your hair is obviously dry, one thing I want to mention is that most of you know that natural hair is more prone to dryness. When you went natural, you immediately noticed that your natural hair was dry, and how in the heck can I keep my hair moisturized? Well, the reason for that is how our hair grows out of the scalp. Our hair grows coily, curly, it's texturized. So everyone produces sebum from the sebaceous glands, so oily secretion from the sebaceous glands. But the challenge with curly hair is that oil gets caught up in all of the curls and coils that it can't travel all the way down to down the hair shaft towards the ends, which is why it's so important for you to moisturize your ends. So I'm going to get right into some reasons why your hair, in addition to it being curly, coily, kinky, nappy, why your hair is probably more prone to dryness. Now, this is in no order. This is all random, okay? So I'm going to be using my cheat sheet here, all right? So one reason is how you're layering your products. Most of you are aware of the lock method, liquid oil cream, or the LCO method, liquid cream oil, which is the method I actually use, okay? Layering your products is important because the liquid, hopefully being a water-based moisturizer, the molecular structure of water is smaller than oil of butter. So if you layer that liquid first, and then you layer the oil and the cream, that cream or oil is going to seal in and lock in the moisture of the water, and then you temporarily have moisturized hair. Okay, so definitely look into layering your products, ensuring that that first product is indeed a moisturizer. Next up, we have using products that are drying to your hair. Number one product that is drying to your hair is alcohol. If you love wash and goes, if you love certain gel type products, a lot of those products do have alcohol in it, which can be drying to your hair. Not to say that you can't use those products or you shouldn't. However, if you notice that your hair is more dry than normal, you want to pay close attention to how much of those type of ingredients are in your product. Mannequins, am I pronouncing that right? Anyway, those type of products are great when you live in an environment where there's moisture in the air. You have some humid. It's humid. Not so great when you live in Phoenix where there's no moisture in the air. So what will happen is that anything that you're using that has glycerin or sorbitol, it would instead attack the moisture that is already in your hair, thus leaving your hair drier. Again, not to say that you can't use products that have glycerin or sorbitol, but you want to make sure that they're not in the top 5 ingredients, okay? Next, I have highly porous hair. Contrary to what, people believe, you can naturally have highly porous hair. It's not just due to damaged cuticles, okay? So highly porous means that your cuticles are open all the time. As soon as you put products in, it sucks out. Products in, it sucks out. You may not even have to do the lock method. You could put oil on, because it's going to suck it up, all right? My recommendation when you have highly porous hair is to up your deep conditioning regimen. I would deep condition every 2 weeks religiously. Also, when you are rinsing your hair, use cold water because that cool water is going to close those cuticles down and help you to retain moisture. Next up, we have understanding the differences between a moisturizer and a conditioner. I think some people get the two confused. A moisturizer will always have, or it should, the first ingredient should always be water. Water equals moisture. I've seen people who say, my hair hates water. That is absolutely ridiculous. Moisture equals water. Conditioner, the first ingredient will be water, but it doesn't necessarily have to. That is because with the conditioner, you're going to rinse it out. With a moisturizer, you're going to leave it in. Conditioner provides temporary sense of moisture. A moisturizer will leave a temporary sense of moisture, but it's a little bit longer, if that makes sense, okay? So definitely know the difference between moisturizers and conditioners. Some conditioners will say have a moisturizing effect, but it's not really a moisturizer, okay? So next up is deep conditioning. I know I mentioned that when I was talking about porosity, high porosity hair. Please make sure, even if you don't have high porosity hair, that you are deep conditioning properly and consistently, okay? I notice a difference when I'm not deep conditioning as I should, and I know the past few deep conditioners I've slacked off. I haven't left it on long enough, or I haven't used heat to help penetrate, to help that product penetrate the hair shaft. What heat will do is heat will actually open up the cuticles. It's the opposite of cool, okay? Heat will open up the cuticles, cold will close the cuticles, all right? So next up we have too much protein. There is such thing as having too much protein. If you are not a fan of coconut oil, if your hair does not like coconut oil, your hair probably already produces enough protein. If you do protein treatments and your hair appears brittle and wants to break off, you already have enough protein. You don't really need to do a protein treatment, okay? So be mindful of your protein versus moisture. You always need one or the other. Rarely do you need both, okay? Next up, we have not drinking enough water. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I drink water. Actually, water is all I drink besides wine. I drink a lot of water. One thing that helps me is I try to drink at least a bottle of water right when I wake up. I also like to drink a cup of water before my meal and after my meal. If you do that consistently throughout the day, you would definitely get your 8 glasses of water in, all right? And last but not least, using too much heat. Now, I've been guilty of doing this year only because I wore a lot of wash and goes, and I like to add volume to my hair. So when I do wash and goes, I like to put some heat directly to my roots. You want to be careful though, using too much heat, especially if your hair is already dry and your hair is not as healthy as you would want it to be. It doesn't make any sense for you to apply excessive heat and do it every 2 weeks, or I would say even monthly if you're applying a lot of heat and your hair is already dry. That's just counterproductive. So avoid heat if all possible. Make sure that you're using heat on the lowest setting, and more importantly, ensure that you are using a heat protectant. My heat protectant so far for the past year has always been grapeseed oil. It is a great heat protectant. All right, you guys. The only other thing I want to mention is when it comes to high porosity hair, you also want to look into thicker type of oils such as castor oil, olive oil. Jojoba oil is also, which is a wax ester. Jojoba oil is also a great oil if you're having a problem with dryness. Okay, you guys? Well, I hope someone finds this information useful. If you have any other tips or any suggestions when it comes to combating dry hair, post them below. Let me know, okay? We're all here to learn from each other. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you as always to all my new subscribers. Bye.